What's up to everybody? All right, just gonna give it some time. Wait for some people to come on so we can talk a little bit about today. Release the air cut. What's going on to everybody? As the notifications go out, you already know how we do it. Just waiting for a few seconds and we'll get started. All right, there's a few things we need to talk about, and it's very important when it comes to this whole thing of the Ayer Cut. Very interesting for everything that's been going on today. So let's get into it. All right, so look, today, August 5th, 2024, we're here again talking about Release the Ayer Cut. Today has been an awesome day, and currently it's up to 60,000. That's hashtags and all that stuff, all those shares and everything. So that's a good thing. That shows you that people are still interested. They want more from David Ayer, and we have now David Ayer that he came out himself, and he's been pushing it and talking about it for Release the Ayer Cut. This is a good sign. Things are slowly shifting to the positive side when it comes to what DC and WB are doing over there. And it just shows you that the fans are interested, they want more, and overall it's just something that the audience wants, and in due time it's going to happen again. A lot of people said that we would never get the Snyder cut, and we proved them wrong, and we finally have that. So along with that, next is going to be the Ayer cut, and that's awesome because when you have the director coming out and saying that he wants his cut out there, that just tells you that, it's just work of art that he has to put out there, and we the fans want and we want to enjoy. So overall, when it comes down to it, it's just something that we all want. And when we talk about this movement that we're going on, it just shows you that the fans everywhere are starting to come together, and they want more of it when it comes to what David Ayer was doing with his Suicide Squad. And, it's just interesting. And at the same time, it's just awesome because we want more of that. Hey, what's going on? Appreciate y'all. Name a car for an edit. I don't know. Uh, I don't know. any brand is fine. So yeah, it's just awesome and amazing. And like I said, we're up to 60,000 hashtags, tweets, whatever you want to call it, over on X, also known as Twitter. And it's just awesome. It's just more people are interested, more people want, the Ayer cut. And it's just showing, especially with today, you got David Ayer himself talking about it. It's like him saying, you know what, enough is enough. I'm the director, I'm the one that made it, and I want my cut out there. And it's only right that David Ayer gets his cut the same way that we got Zack Snyder to get his cut of the Snyder cut, because that's what we got when we were fighting for what it was, the Snyder cut. And in due time, after everybody was saying no, it would never happen, and all that stuff, we finally have it. And that's the awesome part about it. We finally have it. And the same way that we got the Snyder cut, we're also fighting for David Ayer's Suicide Squad, which is the Ayer cut. And him putting up pictures, and not only him, this is also like within the past hour, we have Jared Leto that posted on his Instagram. If you don't believe me, go check it out. If you got Instagram, go look at Jared Leto's profile. He posted a picture of himself. He put like 6 pictures of when they were filming Suicide Squad and stuff behind the scenes. And that's awesome because you have the actor that he's coming out and he's helping also the movement, in the sense of, if that's what the fans want, I'm the one that played the character, Jared Leto, then this is what it's only right for him to do with the fans. And that shows you that the demand is still there. People still want more. And, the fans are just fed up with what DC is doing right now. And, this whole thing that they're doing with the reboot is not necessary. You have more fans asking for the Snyderverse, the Ayerverse, the DCEU. When you have fans that are still talking about that, and look at how long it's been. It's been what, like 8 years, 9 years that we got Suicide Squad from David Ayer, which is still not the final cut because that's what we're still fighting for. It tells you that there's a fan base there, and that's what the consumer wants, the customer wants. Now, when the studio doesn't want to give you that, I mean, what else is there to do? You just have to keep on asking and demanding what you want. And when it comes down to it, this is where the ball lies, because this is what the customer is telling you what they want, not what you as the studio thinks what the customer wants, because it's clear by now that the fans want more of what David Ayer was giving us with Suicide Squad, and not with what James Gunn is giving us or what he gave us with the Suicide Squad. That was trash compared to where it's at now. Now it just shows you by now, like, what, a year deep into everything that with 2023, with the Hamadaverse and with James Gunn and everything that has been coming out from away from Zack Snyder, it just tells you, like, people are not interested. The numbers don't lie, and it shows you that these movies are not performing well at the box office. And then when you have these movies not performing good at the box office, what happens? Your customers start leaving. So now that there's no customers, who are you trying to cater to? You see, an audience that isn't there. So when you have your fans telling you, hey, look, this is what we want, this is what we want to support, then why not give it to the fans? A lot of people want Ben Affleck's Batman. A lot of people want the Ayer Cut. You have to give that to your audience and your customer, because your customer is the one that's keeping you in business. And when things don't start going the way that you want it as a company, and you don't give the fans what they want, the numbers don't lie. And when your stocks are dropping constantly, week after week, month after month, and then it starts catching up for more than a year, that's bad. That's very, very serious. As a business, you can't stay afloat for much longer. That's why when it comes down to what Marvel is doing at the moment, it's interesting, because what Marvel is doing is that they're changing and they're switching things, in the sense that they don't want to keep things how they were before, with a message, with an agenda, with some type of like woke content. They're eliminating that, and that's what WB/DC needs to do right now. They need to get rid of all of that propaganda garbage and just stick to quality. And that's what Marvel is doing, delivering with Wolverine and Deadpool, because that movie is catering to everybody. As a fan, you have the old generation, the new generation, and the future generation that are coming up and growing up and seeing these movies. So now they're going to be interested in seeing the old movies and stuff like that, and then seeing where it's going to lead up to, because we already know that Marvel's setting and preparing everything up for Secret Wars. Now the same thing DC and WB can be doing right now. If they were to bring back Zack, right, and restore the Snyderverse, do Zack Snyder's Justice League Part 2 and Part 3, man, that's a win-win right there, like, completely. Hey, what's going on, Phil Goblin, Lily Girl? Appreciate y'all for watching. Yeah, I don't mind you jumping on. The only thing is, I'm trying to see how we can do it, because I was trying to send you a invite, but I don't know why it didn't do it. So I don't know now that I'm live if we can even still do it, because I was literally doing that right before I went live. So let me see, trying to see if I can do this with the what do you call it? Nah, it doesn't let me. I'm gonna have to probably do it for next time. I've been trying to do it, but I tried to do it right now before I went to this live. I was trying to send you it, but I don't know, YouTube is constantly changing their features, so I have to get the hang of it and see what now new things they added on it and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, when it comes down to it, if WB right now get their act together and they bring in Zack Snyder and they bring David Ayer, you have quality with those two directors, and you let them do what they have to do. You give them that creator freedom, like Netflix is allowing Zack to cook over there at Netflix with Rebel Moon. I mean, that there's no losing there. It's all going to be a win. Now, when the studio refuses to give the audience what they want and you don't give the fans, your consumer, your customer, the one that's paying you, what they're asking for, then you reap what you sow. Honestly, I mean, WB is in a situation financially that they're in critical condition because their stocks keep on dropping. They don't want to listen to the fans, and then they're trying to target an audience that doesn't even exist. You know what? Because they have James Gunn now, they think that that's, oh, we're gonna tap into the Marvel market, and we have DC all in one. No, it doesn't work like that. I'm a DC fan, but I don't want to see Marvel content over here. And the same thing with Marvel. I don't want to see DC content over there. Let both companies be each to their own, and that's the good thing about it. You can eat from both and still enjoy both, and they don't have to step on each other's toes. And that's why when you have Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel, making fun of DC at San Diego Comic Con, that tells you a lot. That says a lot. One, they don't respect you as a brand, they don't respect you as a company, and they don't respect you as an IP, you know? And Marvel has every right to do what they're doing right now because they've earned it. WB could have been here with DC and still been successful with the Snyderverse. But the problem with WB is that they continue to try to be like Marvel. It doesn't work at WB with DC with the Marvel formula. It just doesn't. You want it to be Marvel, stay over there, Marvel. You want it to be DC, leave it as you always been, dark, gritty, that serious, realistic type of tone, and let Marvel keep doing what they're doing, where it's like that goofy cartoon humor light type of entertainment if you want. And now the DC is doing what they're doing all this gender swapping and race swapping and agendas and whatever comes with it. They're just ruining themselves. That's why Marvel is distancing themselves and doing what they're doing now and catering to quality. And that's what WB with DC needs to do. They need to go back and restructure themselves in the sense, well, look, what's selling and what's not. We already know that there's a huge fan following for Zack Snyder. That's one big, one flag that says, hey, look, there's profit there. So bring Zack back. Today, we're trending. Like I said, the last time I just saw it was at 60,000 tweets, hashtags, whatever you want to call it. And it's been trending all day that you have David Ayer himself resharing, he's responding, he's replying, he's tweeting, and then you have Jared Leto that he's resharing and putting up pictures on his profile. That's just a win all overall. So when you have that type of love and you have that type of dedication, that's telling you a lot. The same thing happened with the Snyder Cut. During the time when we were fighting for the Snyder Cut, who didn't help out? Everybody was helping out. We had Ben Affleck, he jumped on. We had Henry Cavill. Hell, I even think Gal Gadot was she also posted it too. She like retweeted it or something like that. So it tells you that fans have not moved on. They want more of that. That's the quality that made DC to where they're at in their cinematic universe. But once they already brought in James Gunn and they were like, well, look, we're gonna reboot. They already had that planned out. With James Gunn, he already wanted to reboot everything. And the way I see it is, he's just jealous of Zack Snyder, and he wishes that he was Zack Snyder, and he wishes that he was David Ayer, but he can't, and he knows that he's never not gonna be that. So when people say, "Oh, well, James Gunn is friends with Zack Snyder," no, they're not. They've just worked together. That's it. Because a lot of people have said this. Okay, when you had Dawn of the Dead, yes, Zack Snyder directed it, and yes, James Gunn wrote it, but a lot of people still don't know that once James Gunn wrote the script for Dawn of the Dead, there was somebody else. I don't remember the person now. They re-edited what James Gunn had wrote. So that tells you that James Gunn, whatever he had, his script was not good because somebody else had to come and rewrite that script that James Gunn wrote. But you don't see people talking about that. See what I'm saying? And even that person had posted the tweet a while ago, and it was all over for social media for a while. So people tend to forget that. So when it comes down to what we have now, we have the Suicide Squad from James Gunn, that flopped at the box office. Compare it to David Ayer Suicide Squad. This is why we're fighting, because there's a lot of new content and a lot of deleted scenes that we haven't even seen come and be released. That's why we're trying to fight for that cut, because we want to see that true vision that David Ayer was going to give us. But then WB, the studio themselves, robbed that and took that from us. So this is why we as the fans are coming together, and every time more and more we're making noise. And that's how powerful us united when we work together and we stick together to the plan is how we win against this studio. And not only this studio, against everyone and all these companies in the entertainment business. The same thing was done with Paramount Pictures. What happened? We, the fans, when Paramount put out the first trailer of Sonic, we were like, whoa, what's this disaster? That's not Sonic. What did they do? They're like, whoa, this is bad. The fans are not receiving that. Okay, let's go back and rework it. And they finally got it right. So that's why we got now a right Sonic the Hedgehog. And look at that, we're going to a third film. But it's the way it's supposed to. And that's how good it is that it even has Knuckles, the spin off show that's also on stream. So that tells you a lot, you know. And as the fan that I am, and I'm sure that a lot of y'all are, is the quality. The quality is very important. You can make an awesome movie, good special effects, good music, good backgrounds, good props, good costumes, good everything, and you can have the best of the best actors. But if you're not given quality, all that can be just thrown away, and you lost everything and everyone, because what people want is good entertainment. When you give fans, it doesn't matter in what form of entertainment, whether it's movies, whether it's music, whether it's art, overall it's just art. And if you don't deliver and entertain your audience, you're going to lose your audience. And that's what's happening with this studio. WB has these big IPs. You already know when you see a clown with green hair and lipstick, who is that? The Joker. When you see a beautiful girl and you see the pink and blue hair, that's what David Ayer gave us. Thanks to that, we got this version of Harley Quinn. And not only in the cinematic universe, it carries also into the cartoons. It carries also into the toys, into the merchandise. Because ever since we got David Ayer's vision of this Harley Quinn, DC has ran with that idea, and now that's the Harley Quinn you see in all their products. And that's thanks to who? David Ayer, because that's the version of this Harley that we've gotten, and it's picked up and it's gotten popular. The same thing with this Batman. When you see Ben Affleck, what do you see? A brute, torn down, badass Batman. And when you see that, and they didn't give him his own standalone film, it's like capital WTF. Like, how do you go and make a Batman movie, but you never give this actor his own standalone film? You only bring him in for cameos. Because when Ben Affleck was brought on board to do Suicide Squad with David Ayer, it was a cameo. Nice cameo, because we saw when he faced off, was a Deadshot, and then when he was with Joker and Harley in that car scene with Batmobile, that was awesome. We're like, whoa, there's more to this. And now that David Ayer's coming out talking about it, of course there's more of it. We are fighting for that. That's the vision, and you know, the story that David was putting out there that we want to see. We as the fans, we as the audience want to see that vision fully complete, the same how we wanted and we finally have for Zack Snyder with his Justice League, because all of that sets up something even more wonderful towards the end, especially with that epilogue scene, because we finally get to see Joker face off, not in a fight, but they just interact with Batman in that epilogue scene, setting up the nightmare timeline. And of course, in that timeline, Harley's already dead, because Batman's like, whoa, when Harley died in my arms, she said the following, blah, blah. You already seen that. And Joker's like, whoa, okay, you almost got me with that one. But it shows you that it's a shared universe. Two different directors, two different visions, but they all came together for one epic movie. Now imagine if WB and DC would have kept going with that vision. Where would we be today? We would be probably higher than what the Avengers are right now. Honestly, I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan, because I like both brands. I like Marvel and I like DC. But with what DC was setting up with Zack Snyder's Justice League and where it's heading, it's like, whoa, this is a whole game changer where Marvel won't be able to catch up or top this. And when you see the whole Infinity Saga from Marvel, yes, it's its own thing. Yes, it does set up something nice, but they still have to go back and bring back these characters that they they died in that universe or whatever. So they have to rely back on these characters. Now you have on the other hand DC, that they have these characters that they haven't died, and for the most part, only the important ones are still there, setting up and preparing something good that's going to come from the future. Now, when you have the remaining, cast of Justice League going into that nightmare timeline, they're about to face off Darkseid, because in that it looks like Darkseid has already won and he's taken over. So where and what is Superman up to? We know he's bad because it's setting that also. And that's something that Zach was preparing, and the way that he prepared it was just way ahead of the game. He was already on point, ahead of Marvel, ahead of everything that it comes to this whole universe that he was setting up. That's why I like what Zach is doing with Rebel Moon, because what he's developing and he's setting up and preparing and building for the future and the present with Rebel Moon and that whole Rebel verse, if you want to call, is just awesome. It's amazing, and it's like, how does WB not continue? How do they not see this vision? And especially they know that we're here, the fans. They see us constantly with the hashtags. We're always posting it. We're always tagging them. I'm for one that I'm constantly tagging them and I'm posting the hashtags. So clearly they're seeing us. So that tells you that if a company doesn't want to give us what we want, okay, so why, as a consumer and as a fan, should I give them what they want? They want money, but you're not giving me the quality that I want. So if you don't give me and us the quality, the fans, why should we continue to support this company? I get it. I like and I love Batman. I get it. I love and I enjoy Harley with Joker. But these are brands and IPs that, well, the studio's not giving me what I want as the customer. I'm done supporting them. And that's it. That's what it all comes down to. That's why now Marvel is crushing it with this whole next phase that they're doing. Already announced was Avengers 5 and 6, Doomsday and Secret Wars. Secret Wars is going to be like Justice, not Justice League, Infinite Crisis, where you have everybody and everything from every universe come into one movie. And that's what Zach was going to try to set up. Remember, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he posted it on Thanksgiving, and it was in the background a book, Infinite Crisis. So everybody was speculating. They're like, oh, that's the next thing that he's going to work on. But then what happens? James Gunn comes on board and screws everything up. So for everybody to say, no, he hasn't screwed everything up, he's there to make change, he's not there to make change. He's just there to push James Gunn and James Gunn only. That's it. That's his quote unquote legacy he's trying to leave behind, while he's sweeping everything else under the rug as he goes through. But jokes on them, because we, the customers, and we, the fans, have had enough. And today marks the beginning of a new start. How? Because we have David Ayer that came on board, and he's also active again on Twitter, because he's putting pictures, he's responding. And not only that, Jared Leto, over 11 million followers. Within 30 minutes that he put up a post, it already had over 35,000 likes, over 1,000 comments. That tells you a lot, that people want more of it. Go read the comments. Go see it. I'm not making this up. You can go out there and see it. It's out there on social media. And the same thing with all the likes, with all the hashtags. You have over 60,000 in a day. I'm sure those numbers are going to be even higher by the end of the day of today, because where I'm at right now, the day's coming to the close, and it's about to be the next day. So by this time, with 60,000, that's a big number. Now, if you do the math, right? Let's just speculate. 60,000 fans, all right? Charge what? Minimum, maybe, depends what area you're at, but you know what? A movie ticket costs about like maybe like 10 to 15 bucks, depends. Add that up. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that the studio can be making, and they could be capitalizing from the fans if they were to release the Ayer Cut. And it's not hard. All you have to do is what? A little bit of CG work. That's not going to cost you much. You have the team, you have the money, the studio's there. That's what it's there for. And you have HBO Max where you can stream it. You can make numbers and make money back from your customers. But again, WB's not thinking, and they're not seeing the big picture. That's why Netflix is also crushing it when it comes to streaming. Marvel is crushing it to the whole, cinematic universe and crushing it at theaters. Netflix is crushing it on the streaming. And then you have HBO Max that's from DC slash WB, and they're not doing anything with it. And that's how bad it is that even the new one, what's the new show, House of Dragons, it's not even doing as well. That tells you a lot. It's like fans have had enough. And when you have the fans that are tired of it and they're like, look, either you give us what we want or that's it. We just go somewhere else, or we're just not going to support you. That's where it's come to. People have had enough. And it's not only the fans, you have people from everywhere that are also fed up. And they're like, you know what? Hey, look, this studio isn't giving me as a fan what I want. So why am I going to support them? Why even bother? And that's what happens. You have to give your customers what they like, and that's where Marvel and Netflix are right now winning. Even Amazon Prime with their shows. And what happens with HBO Max? People are unsubscribing. People are not watching. People are just not excited, and they're not thrilled with what the new route is going to be. It's not going to work with James Gunn. It was never going to work with James Gunn, and it will never work with James Gunn. The only solution that WB has are two options. One, you restore the Snyderverse and release the Ayer Cut, or two, you're going to be forced to sell your company, all of it. The same that Marvel did back in the 90s, where they were doing so bad, that's why they had to sell X-Men to Fox, Spider-Man to Sony, and the Hulk to, was it, Universal? You have three companies that are already eating off of their IPs. The same thing is going to happen to WB if they don't get it together. If you don't give the fans what they want, you're going to reap what you sow. And you reap what you sow in the way that if you don't give the fans what they want, they're not going to support that new reboot with James Gunn, because nobody's excited about that. And the handful of people that are excited is not enough to keep them afloat. It really isn't. And that's sad. That is sad. Yeah, because today the main goal is release the Ayer Cut. That's why. That's why you don't see that we're really talking about restore Snyderverse, because today is the day that we're going hard and we're going strong, and it's showing it because the results are online and you can see it. You can't hide that. You can't make that up. People are right now focused, and that was the whole goal for today of release the Ayer Cut, But don't worry, we'll have more stuff with restore the Snyderverse. And anyways, this all still falls under the Snyderverse, because again, two different directors, two different visions, but both visions were connected in their own way. Because you have what David Ayer was doing, and then you have what Zach was doing, and both of them were flowing smooth. They were both connected without stepping on each other's toes, and it was running swell. The problem was WB, being WB, as hard-headed as they are, they didn't want to continue with it. But they're going to have to learn the hard way. And when they do, it probably might be a little too late. And that's where probably we're at right now. Because the studio is so stubborn, so hard-headed, that they don't want to give the fans what they want yet. But again, the numbers don't lie. The numbers in stocks and Wall Street and everything that has to do in sales, whether it's streaming, physical media, or subscriptions, they're all declining fast over at WB. And this is where Netflix is winning with Rebel Moon. And regardless, say what you want about Rebel Moon. Oh, you didn't like it. Oh, this, oh, that. That's fine. It's okay. But the best part about it is that no matter what you try to say, anything that's negative, the Snyderverse lives. It's on Netflix. The Snyderverse lives. We, the fans, made the Snyder Cut possible when everybody was saying that it would never happen. And the next big thing is going to be the Ayer Cut, because now it's the same thing. A lot of people are tired and they're like, we want the Ayer Cut. And it's proven that after today, things have taken a different course for the good, especially for us, the fans, and especially for David Ayer. Now, we rattled the cage of WB, and they know it. They're seeing it. We rattled it and made so much noise today that even James Gunn had to jump on board and tried to ride the 5 minute fame train. How? Because he even posted something on his what is it on his X account, and he was like, "Oh, 3 years ago, I had a Viola Davis, that she's gonna be now in the upcoming, what is it, a Creature Commandos as Amanda Waller." Let's stop the brakes right there real quick. Let's give credit where it's due. Thanks to David Ayer for casting Viola Davis to be and play Amanda Waller. That's the proper credit you should be given. And thanks to David Ayer with his version of Suicide Squad, James Gunn was able to do his vision of the Suicide Squad. You see? That's how professional and that's how respectful you go about on it. But what did he do? He didn't acknowledge David Ayer. He didn't give no type of credit whatsoever to him. He just wanted to take the spotlight for him and him alone. That tells you a lot about that greedy director. And then he doesn't have the face to show up at San Diego Comic Con. So what happens? Look at San Diego Comic Con. Who owned it? Marvel. Once again. DC could have been owning San Diego Comic Con for the past 3 years. And for the past 3 years, they've been dropping the ball more and more. But this, again, is their fault. This is what happens. You don't plan it out right. You don't make no type of exciting news where the fans are going to be like, they're going to love this. No, on the opposite. You do everything that we don't ask for and we don't want. You give us shows that we don't want. You give us shows that we are not asking for. But then you don't want to continue and give us more of what Zach is doing, more of what David Ayer is putting out there. Why? There's money to be made. There's a fan base. There's an audience. The fans are asking for it. All you have to do is just give it to them. That's it. Simple as that. But what are they doing? They're not doing that. That Twister? Yeah, nah, not interested in that either. The original Twister is the best. This new one is just not what it's supposed to. I'm not watching that. Like I said, I'm not spending another dime on this company trying to support them, whatever they're trying to put out. Now, if you bring the Snyderverse back, then I'll give you my money. You release that Ayer Cut, I'll give you my money. And I'm sure a lot of us are going to do the same. But until that doesn't happen, this is where we're at. And it's all because of the studio. That's what happens. I got you. All right. With Twitter, yeah. Twitter, it's his own world. So, that's how social media is. But in the end, like I said, today we made, again, noise with Release the Ayer Cut. I'm proud and I'm happy to be part of this movement, this fight, defending everything that we stand for. We're not hurting nobody. We're just doing it for a good cause. We're doing what we enjoy. And to everybody that doesn't like it, step aside. Just step aside and let us do our own thing. That's it. Because we will stop at nothing. It's awesome. It's amazing just seeing how all of this is folding before us. And it's like, wow, like to have David Ayer, he was quiet for a while. And I get it. He was probably not motivated. He was probably feeling some type of way. And that's understandable, because it happens to all of us. It happens to everybody. It's going to hit you probably not today, not tomorrow, but it's going to hit you one day. And probably he was like, you know what? I need to do this for the fans. And that's why he did that. And it's awesome. We needed that. That's the boost that we needed from the director himself. And then we also have Jared Leto that has also posted pictures of himself as Joker on his Instagram. Amazing. Just wonderful. Seeing that brings a lot of joy because it shows you that we, the fans, after all these years, have not given up. That tells you a lot. It speaks in high volumes. So when people say otherwise, that no, it's not going to happen. No, get over it. No, we're not getting over anything because this is what we believe in and this is what we want. That's why I got to give credit to where credit is due. Marvel is crushing it. And not only Marvel, but what they're doing with Henry Cavill as Wolverine, the variant, if you want to call it, that's just setting up for what's going to come in Secret Wars. I know we're going to see Henry Cavill again in Secret Wars as Wolverine, and we're going to see him go all out, along with probably Hugh Jackman. That's going to be insane. That is going to be insane. And don't be surprised if in Secret Wars we might see Ben Affleck as Daredevil as another variant. Because this whole multiverse has gone to the point where it's like this is going to be insane. The next big thing is just gonna be variants of certain characters, like it's just gonna be nuts. But this is what WB could be capitalizing, but they refuse to listen to the fans. It's sad, but they brought this upon themselves. This is what I'm telling y'all. Keep those wallets closed until they give you what you want as a fan. If you're enjoying the new thing that they're putting out, hey, that's good. Enjoy it. I, for one, will not. I refuse to support the new DCU, and I refuse to support James Gunn. Not nothing personal. It's just not my cup of tea, if you want to say. That's not the vision, that's not the style, and that's not the route that I want to see DC heading into. And sadly, they're heading into it. But they're heading into a dead end. And that dead end is going to cost them big time. Like I said, they're facing and they're heading only into two options. One, you're going to be forced to sell your whole company because people have had enough. You lost your customers, your fan base, and all the people that were there supporting you. And two, either you don't sell or you're going to have to be forced to restore Snyderverse because people are not eating up this new DCU. Not enough. Not enough people are eating it to fully support it. I get it. There's a handful of people that are fans and they enjoy it. Good for you. But it's not enough to keep this company afloat for a long time. Because this is why WB keeps on putting out content with the Snyderverse. And of course, we have McFarlane Toys that are going to be soon releasing more Batman vs. Superman merchandise. Oh, why? Because it sells. That's why. And then rumor has it they're also going to be doing Ben Affleck's Batmobile. So what's going to happen? More profit. That's why, because they know it sells. But then when it comes to the movie side, they don't want to give us what we want. They said the same thing about the Snyder Cut, and we finally have it. Again, we will stop at nothing. We will keep going until they give us what we want. The numbers don't lie. Go on social media and you will see. See those hashtags. See Jared Leto. See all this noise that we've been making online. And that's just one day. That tells you a lot. Things are going to change for the good. We're not giving up. Let's stay together. Keep moving forward. Staying strong. Us united. We're going to make a difference in this entertainment business. That's what Marvel is doing. Marvel is listening to their fans. Disney is giving the fans what they finally want, and that's quality. But as always, I appreciate everybody for watching. I just wanted to talk a little bit about that. And as always, let's keep going and let's keep growing. You already know the motto. Hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel. Y'all stay safe, and until next time.